we've talked about it already a little bit, but yeah, it has sci-fi elements.
Yeah.
But the writers never set out to make this like a sci-fi show.
Yeah.
They deliberately didn't want to get bogged down with explaining why the time portal works, which I think we're watching it going, but why? Why is it there?
Time travel rules.
Tell us why it's there. And they were like, I don't care.
It just appears.
And at one point, they, when they were talking about why Gary can access it and how, they said that we don't even know. So they couldn't explain it if they even wanted to.
So this portal, from memory, is just like in a street somewhere.
Yeah. So it's down some random street in London, and he walks down it, and then he turns out, and he doesn't realise where he's gone at first in the first episode, and suddenly he realises, what the hell? And
can only Gary access it? It's not like just no one else
they sort
has
of play
happened to stumble upon it.
Yeah, they play fast and loose with that throughout the series. But generally speaking, only
don't worry about it.
Only he has access to it unless some other shenanigans occur.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll get on to it. Goodnight Sweetheart is very much of its time.
Yeah.
The 90s, right?
I love how we were like, the 90s are great, and now we're saying,
I know.
But some of the morals weren't great.
This is the thing. As guys who are in our I hate to say it, to late 30s.
Wow.
38 next year, mate.
You are, I'm not.
I still think of the 90s as a relatively recent thing.
Yeah.
It isn't really.
No.
30 years ago.
What was the 90s? 10 years ago?
I know.
Yeah.
Think about that.
No. Times have changed.
So a lot happens in 30 years, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in this film, TV series, it's about a man who lives a double life and commits adultery.
Yeah.
And yet he's the hero of the piece.
More than adultery. Bigamy. Bigamy. It was quite big, bigamy in the 90s. I didn't really know what bigamy was.
Right.
But Goodnight Sweetheart and Peter Barlow in Coronation Street famously committed bigamy.
Oh.
And I was like, those two examples introduced me to the concept. Not that I jumped on the concept.
No.
I'm not saying I was a big fan of the concept, but I just...
So I think this concept could happen in a show today, but they wouldn't have put this into the plot, I don't think.
Well, again, going back to my point about the concept actually being really interesting, this idea of like a man, like a TV show about a man living a double life.
Yeah.
He goes back in time. He lives two lives across two time zones.
But not that far
two time
apart,
periods.
Enough apart, I suppose.
But and he starts up a family, or has a love interest and a wife, and that's a great setup for a drama. That's like Breaking Bad with time travel.
Well,
you could do Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they've done the gritty reboot Bel-Air.
Imagine a gritty reboot of this.
You could do it.
Yeah,
you could do it. It'd be great.
Well, I always thought a good idea for a sci-fi Black Mirror style show or film or whatever is like, if you were able to plug into your memories from the past, and then you had like a save file of a different life, where in that life you might be married with kids or whatever, and then you have different save files, and you sort of forget which one was the real life because you've plugged into so many save files, but in each one you've created people and all sorts, and yet you've got the original life.
Does it even matter which one's
exactly
real?
Which one's the real one at this point?
Ooh,
but it's got to be made into Black Mirror. That's great.
Yeah,
Anyway, I feel like even though on paper Gary's a bit of an arse, because it's Nicholas Lyndhurst, he makes it work. In his own way.
Yeah.
And as we say, it's the 90s, Lad Mags, Britpop, Vindaloo. It's just the way this seemed quite tame really, at the time.
Look, we had FHM, so bigamy was fine back then, right? Yeah. Okay.
30 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it still don't really explain the premise. We have a little bit, but anyway. So it's 1993.
Yeah.
Gary is a TV repairman. He's struggling with his life and his marriage. He's married to an ambitious wife called Yvonne.
Yeah.
And I love that it's all about, he gets annoyed that she's like wanting a career. Like, how dare she? Well, look, and to be clear, I am not defending Gary Sparrow's actions. I'm not saying let's all embrace bigamy. Yeah. But
my memory is that his wife in the 1940s is very nice and very sweet.
Of course she was. She's in the 40s.
No, but I don't think it's just that like she's like some subservient housewife. I generally think she's just a lot nicer to Gary.
Yeah,
whereas his wife in the 90s is always just giving him shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, stay in the 40s, mate.
Yeah, Yvonne is played in a way that she's just a bit of a nagging, but watching it back, she wasn't that bad.
Right.
She didn't deserve this.
She's like, Gary, I'm going to work. And he's like,
she's not beating him up or anything.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, you're so unreasonable going to work.
She just wants him to be ambitious and stuff. It's like, leave me alone. Anyway, so he's best friends with Ron in the 90s, who helps him out. He's the only one that he kind of confides in about the situation, and Ron just kind of goes along with it.
Yeah.
So after a TV repair call out in London's East End, he accidentally discovers a time portal at Duckett's Passage, which leads to wartime London. Here he meets Phoebe, a barmaid at the Royal Oak pub, her father Eric, who runs the pub, and Reg Deadman, or Deadman.
Probably Deadman.
A dim-witted but friendly policeman. And his grandson, I think, is in the modern day, played by the same actor.
Okay.
And so when he realises he can come and go as he likes, he starts dating Phoebe. And what a cad. Just goes along with it. So let's have a look at some clips, shall we, from the first episode of when he first stumbles back.